Welcome back in, everyone, to episode 3 of Draft to Glory Montreal Expos style 1901. When we last left off, we finished the 1901 season. We did the draft. We are heading into 1902. And again, for those of you that are just kind of tuning in now, go back, watch episode 1 and 2. But, in a nutshell, first episode, we drafted the worst possible players in the inaugural draft. A lot of 1 stars, 1.5 stars, a couple 2 stars, and in a season, they have progressed, some of them, to 2.5 stars. Haven't really got anyone above that, but in our last draft, the first one that we took serious, we were able to get a couple of, I think, really good players. Joe Sewell and this Mullen guy. I think he's going to be pretty good too. Again, simple rules, no trading, no free agent signings, no international signings. We have to build a championship from the bottom up, only through the draft. So again, we've got a few pieces for the future, but I don't anticipate on winning anytime soon. It's going to take a while for this team to be competitive. Again, we finished last in our first season, got the second draft lottery pick, so that allowed us to take the shortstop, who I think is going to be a huge piece. And in the offseason here, just kind of making some changes, adding some players to our 1902 roster. Again, still going to try and build the best team we have with the pieces given to us, but we can't trade and we can't pick anyone off the free agent list. Again, injuries are turned off, and that's just to, keep the Sims going. I want to get through at least one season every episode, do the draft every episode, and when you have injuries on, it kind of bogs things down every time you have to go back and replace players. Here is our pitching lineup, again, going with 2 starters, and here is our hitting lineup going into the next season. No DH, so the pitchers will hit. And again, Joe Sewell is kind of our big guy right now. 4-star young player, first pick in the last draft by us. So we'll see how things go in this sim here. Lineups are set. Everything's ready to rock and roll. Again, I put my pitcher in the number 8 slot just because I hear that you kind of want someone that might be able to get on base a little bit better in the number 9 slot. So let's try that out. And I like to sim about a month at a time, sometimes 2 months at a time. Again, we're not going to jump into the game until I feel that, it's a key game, a key situation. Let's face it, we're not going to be too competitive for probably 5 to 10 years, but that's the fun of it, building through the draft. Again, 1901 settings, we are replacing the Boston Bean Eaters and changing that to Montreal just because, again, I'm Canadian and I want a little bit more personal flavor to this franchise series. Never done one of these before, Draft to Glory. I've watched a lot of hockey Draft to Glory. Shout out to OOTP24, the best franchise Draft to Glory NHL streamer. And I thought I'd try this with baseball. A little bit of a different kind of environment, but we'll see how it goes. And maybe we'll do more Draft to Glory series. So here we have the top prospects for the year. Here is our number 2 overall player, Joe Sewell. Yeah, he looks like a stud for many years to come. Wasn't the first overall pick. This player here was drafted first overall. I kind of like Joe Sewell better, honestly. He's fully developed and he's a lot more well-rounded. David Price, again, one of the top picks in last episode's draft. And Joe Sewell, he may be our next captain of the franchise. But hey, he's a rookie right now. We're not going to anoint him captain yet. Got to give him a little bit of time to develop and earn his stripes as captain. Can't just have this hotshot young guy come in and take over the captaincy. Plus, it's a last place team. I don't want to destroy his confidence. Also, Again, suspensions are turned off. I want to avoid too many interruptions in the sim. Let's keep this fast flowing and try and get through season by season every single episode. Okay, let's sim ahead to the next month and check out where we're at the end of June. If you don't mind, leave a comment, a like. Do you play OOTP? Do you prefer franchise? Do you prefer playing perfect team? Do you do any kind of draft to glory in any kind of sports video game? Leave a comment. Curious to find out. Development report comes in every once in a while where we can check in on our players, see if they're, improving, not doing too well. So far, this development report looks pretty good. Fritz Peterson, one of our starters, one of our 2 starters. It's Deadball. What do you expect? You don't need 4 starters. And some other players improving slightly, or this guy from a 1-star, Ted Kennedy, former U.S. Senator in the game. He is jumped up quite a bit. And Dolly Stark, a lot of speed, but not much of a bat. Again, we are using the pieces given to us from the start of the franchise. These players will slowly be transitioned out from the team as we're able to draft better players along the way. All right, let's sim ahead to the next month. All right, here we are, June 1st. Let's take a little deeper dive into the Montreal Expos. We just had an achievement unlocked when you play out of the park baseball. As you play, you get these nice little achievements that you can unlock. Fritz Peterson, one of our 2 starters, 8-game streak with a quality start. And as the game says, nice. I will take that. A new update here. Joe Sewell, want to make sure he progresses nicely, and it looks like he is. He's boosted up to 75 for contact. I rating has dropped a little bit. I'm not overly concerned with that as long as it doesn't drop too much. Again, we are on June 1st and he is hitting 379 in the Deadball Era. That is, I couldn't ask for much more than that. In real life, when he was 20, he was just kind of breaking into the league, and he did hit 329 in his rookie year in Cleveland. So he is looking like he was a solid pick. Pat Mullen, we selected in the 2nd round, and he's hitting 292, doing very well. Still got a little bit of room to improve. Deadball Era, you're not going to see a lot of home runs, but he does have 1 home run already. And other than that, all the other players here were in the inaugural draft. Billy Bean, when were you picked? Yeah, you were our last pick in episode 2. So Billy Bean hitting 295, and he has got 3 home runs, which is shocking considering this is dead ball settings. In his career, he had 3 home runs back in 1986. So he's already Billy Bean, Moneyball. You're already in real life. That was probably in the majors. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at our record here. Where is the Montreal Expos? Where are, I should say, the Montreal Expos? And as expected, struggling, 11 wins, 27 losses. But hey, on the bright side, Joe Sewell, 2nd in the league in average. Our pitchers, Fritz Peterson, 5-9 with a 2.66 ERA, and Ted Kennedy, 5-12. And then, of course, our bullpen not seeing a lot of action other than Mike Wood. All right, let's sim ahead to the next month. Here we are. How time flies. We're already at August 1st, 1902. A couple more achievements. Joe Sewell on base streak 63. 63. You heard me right. Joe Sewell, 63-game on-base streak as a rookie for the Montreal Expos and 29-game hitting streak for Joe Sewell. Whew, I knew he was going to be good. Didn't know he would be that good. A few more players that have developed. Billy Beane going up in potential. We've got John Walsh going up. Bob Hale. And hey, look at that. Duke Shirley has added a forkball to his repertoire. Nice. And finally, Lewis Thorpe has gone up half a point too. Well, let's take a look again at our standings. Are we still in last place in the NL? No. We are 2 games up on the Brooklyn Superboss. Wow. We are not in last place. And look at the leaderboard here. Joe Sewell leading the league in average as of August 1st. Ted, is it Ted Kennedy? No. Yeah, it is Ted Kennedy. I was thinking the former U.S. Senator. Ted Kennedy has 149 strikeouts. He's literally blowing away the competition. Man, oh man, oh man. And we got saves by Kyle Wayland, 5 on the season. Because, relievers weren't used a lot at that time. Curious to look at some of the overall statistics here. And let's look at the entire league combined, see where some of our players fit in. And as I said, Joe Sewell leading the league, second in slugging, first in on-base percentage. Yeah, we see Joe Sewell quite a bit on the leaderboard there. In terms of pitching leaders, we've got a 2-man rotation, so we're going to see, innings pitched, definitely. We're going to lead in that category. It looks like a lot of teams are going with a 3-man rotation. And if we look at streaks, one of my favorite things that a lot of people forget about, you can look at streaks in the game. Joe Sewell, 29-game hitting streak. What else? Wheeland, 4 consecutive saves. Active streak. If you see the little star, it means currently still active. And what else? We got Duke Shirley, 9 active games scoreless streak. Very good to see. Ted Kennedy, consecutive Ks, 4. Yeah, so there we go. We got our leaderboard and our streak board. Let's go ahead to September. September 1st, 1902, and another achievement, we got Batter of the Month. So Pat Mullen is the Batter of the Month for August. Let's take a look at his stats. 324, 5.2 WAR so far in the season. Here's a player we took in the second round. So developing nicely. Now, was this the inaugural draft or no? It was not. So we drafted him. We drafted Joe Sewell round 1 and Pat Mullen round 2. So I'm really, really happy with our first round and second round pick. Let's take a look at the stats. All right. So first and second round pick. Let's might as well add the draft year too, just so we have a better idea of the players that we actually took. Because after you draft 5, 6, 7 years, it's a little tougher to remember them. So we're going to add that draft year there. And let's move it up to the forefront. So Bob Hale hitting 286, Pat Mullen 324, and Joe Sewell at a nice 358. For an expansion, pretty much an expansion team, these guys are doing wonderful. Scott Blewett, how about you? Yeah, you've recovered your 215 average. And our other pick in 1901, Ben Ford, scoreless in 7 1/3 inning. He hasn't given up a run yet. Can't ask for much more for 2 rookies. Well, it's time to go to the end of the regular season. Right now, the Montreal Expos are sitting in last place. We've been eliminated from the playoffs. And now we're 10 games behind the Brooklyn Superboss. So we definitely have fallen off. And again, expected, but some pleasant surprises on the team moving forward. Bright future for some of these Expo players. But let's check our mail first, make sure we're not missing anything. No, that's all good. Okay, let's go to the end of the regular season. Time for the playoffs. Although we are not in the playoffs, this is 1902 era, so we have only two teams that are going to play off for the championship. Home run champion Pat Mullen is the home run champion. Well done, Pat. And Joe Sewell is our batting champion. Again, couldn't ask for much more. Two guys that we drafted last year, and they both have these really good achievements. The Montreal Expos, just for posterity, let's take a look. They finished with a 38 and 102 record, an improvement of about 10 games or so from last season. We did go 0-10 in the last 10 games. In fact, we lost. We lost our last 16 to end off the year. Our two pitchers, 13 and 37, 17 and 47. Yikes. It's got to be close to some league records. And hitting wise, Pat Mullen ended up hitting 311 with a 5.7 WAR, and Joe Sewell 354. So on the leaderboard, there's Joe Sewell, the batting champion in 1902, and by quite a bit. You know, beating Pete Browning and who is this? Rusty Greer. Yeah, Rusty Greer. And Ted Kennedy, strikeout leader. But again, we've got a two-man rotation, and I'm pretty sure if we look at some of the other teams, Baltimore, 4-man, Boston, 4-man. So OOTP is not really utilizing real life situation. Looks like majority of teams are going with the 4-man rotation. We're good with 2 men because the stamina, the era allows for it. So let's go ahead and sim the playoffs. We got the Cleveland Broncos going up against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm gonna call for a Pirate win here. And it is the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates. All other teams, again, in this franchise, all drafted pretty much best player available. The AI drafted their players. Last season, we had a score of 1, and I'm happy to inform you, we have a score of 47. That's a big improvement. Well, it says terrible score, but hey, score of 47. That's a, 4,700% increase. Come on. You gotta be proud of that. So our Pittsburgh Pirates are the league champion. Here's their team. They got John Riley, Tito Fuentes, Rusty Greer, Dale Murphy, Elston Howard, Marv Owen, Dode Paskert, Julio Gatte, Gallardo, Breitenstein, Foster, Miller, Munoz, Josh Hader, Trevor Kelly, Jeff Barkley, and Tony Freitas. Again, I'm not the best at pronouncing names. You have to forgive me. I don't know the pronunciation of a lot of these baseball names. I'll do the best I can. And, barring that, I'll just call them by their first name. That'll work too. So there is your world champions in 1902, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Time to go to the award winners and find out, did any of our players win any of the hardware? I'm thinking we might have. Yes, we did win Rookie of the Year, Reliever of the Year, Great Bat, Great Glove. So 2 of the major awards plus a few of the, minor awards we won. You can always check your awards by going to the league menu, going to league history, history index, click on awards, and then just go to the award that you want to check. We're in the NL, so Pete Browning won his second MVP. Matt Cain was the Cy Young Award winner for the second year in a row. Joe Sewell, Rookie of the Year, and Kyle Wieland. So that's I'm proud of that. 2 guys winning awards, and 2 from our last draft. It is time to find out the draft pool announcement. And again, we are in a draft lottery. We were last in the first season. We won the second pick, hoping that we can get the first overall pick this time. But the bottom 4 teams are all involved in the lottery, all with the same odds. So you never know. We won't finish any worse than 4th. So here is the draft pool. This is the list of players that are going to be available in the draft if we rank them by potential. Pitchers, first of all, Tim Hudson. We got a young Roy Halladay. Nice to see. Might have to draft him to the Canadian team. Don Little, Jim Gott, Grant Belfour, Zach Britton, and Bob Carpenter amongst the top pitchers. Hitting-wise, do we have Babe Ruth? No, but we do have Dan Brothers. And this guy, he had a career. He was one of the best. And he does play dead ball baseball. So I think he's going to be our top pick. So again, we're going to put some of these guys on a short list a little bit later. Juan Gonzalez, Will Clark, and then Troy Tulo is there. Corey Dickerson, Fred McGriff. Be another great one to add. Maybe we can get him second round. We'll see if he's still there. But I would say right now my number 1 pick would be Dan Brothers for batters. And if he's gone and we go with the pitcher, we're probably going to go with Hudson or Halladay. So let's go to the draft lottery and see where we end up. Okay, we are back. It is now December 15th. That is draft day in this league, at least for now, until the game decides they want to change it. Just kind of going through our news. Nothing really exciting here. Again, top projected picks, Brothers, Gonzalez, Tim Hudson, and then Merv Rettenmund. So if we go based on the projected picks, we're guaranteed to get one of those 4. Winter's meeting, nothing in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, we are ready. The new updated first-year draft projections, Brothers, Clark, Rettenmund, and Gilkey. Top 4. And the draft lottery. Which we took over the Boston Bean Eaters, so that should be the Montreal Expos. We dropped from number 1 to number 4. Washington Senators, Chicago Cubs move up. Us in Brooklyn, we did not move up. So let's go to the draft and check out who we have available to us. Again, in the mock draft, it has us taking Bernard Gilkey. Although I don't think we're going to take him. I'm really hoping Brothers falls. I doubt it. So in that case, we're probably going to go with either Roy Halladay or Tim Hudson. And based on the mock draft, Halladay is rated higher. So let's go and start this draft. First pick is Dan Brothers, Big Dan. Oh, so sad we missed out on him. He would have been a cornerstone for many years to come. Great pick, Washington. Chicago, second pick overall. They will take Juan Gonzalez, projected to go number 2. And Juan Gonzalez, not great defender. Not a great defender. I would not have taken him simply because dead ball, there is not a lot of home run activity, and he's a home run type of guy. And the game, I guess, just doesn't understand that. Brooklyn, with the number 3 pick, they take one of the pitchers. Okay, well, that makes our decision a lot easier. They take Tim Hudson. Who does our scout recommend? Our scout recommends Dixie Walker, nicknamed the People's Churse. Interesting. Dixie Walker definitely has a lot of really great potential. 4.5-star player, left field, right field. He's definitely well balanced, and if he turns out like they project, he will be a star. Unfortunately, it's not like our Joe Sewell, who was already almost developed. So made Joe Sewell a real easy pick. Things could go wrong in the development of these players. Let's check out Will Clark. Again, I like it. And then Corey Dickerson. So a lot of these players, again, from kind of similar time periods, very similar builds. I do like Bernard Gilkey. A lot of speed, almost completely developed. Merv was another one that was recommended to us. Don't really like that build. Want someone with high contact, good gap power, good speed, good defense. Now, this player, Dixie Walker, could really develop well. But again, that's the person they recommended. And Fred McGriff, yeah, that avoid K's is going to limit you. Okay, my instinct was to go with Roy Halladay. And Roy Halladay is there as Jim Gott and Don Little. So let's take a look at these three top-rated pitchers. There's Don Little, doesn't have a lot of control. Right? Jim Gott, 3-pitch guy. And the guy I'm leaning towards, Roy Halladay. Yeah. He's going to be good. He is going to be good. Hopefully he'll be as good as he was in the majors in real life. So Roy Halladay, welcome to a different Canadian team this career. You are going to Montreal. All right, from this point on, we're just going to sim ahead to our next pick and see what's available. See who we can add to maybe a short list. Pitchers, unless there was a really good starter, I kind of want to take one really good starter every draft because it's dead ball. You only really need 8 pitchers. So I don't really want to load up on a ton of pitchers every draft. Of course, if they're the best available, maybe. Let's go back to our batters. And we've got 2 more 3.5 stars. John O'Brien, Chewing Gum. Oh, gotta love that nickname. Chewing Gum O'Brien. And Caleb Gindel. How did you play in real life? Okay, you played a couple seasons with Milwaukee. Already fully developed, 23 years old. We want the young guys. We want guys that are going to be still, kind of in their peak or towards the end of their peak when we become really good. So we're going to skip these older guys here. Let's check out Derek May and Art Shires. It's tough. It is tough. I guess we could go with the 22-year-old. Kind of like how he still has room to grow. Let's do it. Let's go with Dim Dom D'Alessandro, who played in the 1940s with the Chicago Cubs, broke in with Boston, and then played out the rest of his career with Chicago. Okay, let's do it. Dim Dom, welcome to the Montreal Expos. Round number 3. Okay, so we've got probably let's shortlist these guys here. Shortlist those, and then for pitchers, shortlist a few of them. Pitchers again, they're a dime a dozen. I guess we want to add a new short list. Always forget to do that every draft. Create new short list. This one is 1902. We can go back and reselect. Go to our batters. A little bit easier to look at just a small group of people and decide from there. So this might get us through a couple rounds, just going with the highest overall rated players because scouting is on accurate. It is on 100% accurate just to make things easier so we don't spend a lot of time, having to go and scout players and do a ton of evaluation. We're just going to go with the 100% scouting and no coaching. The coaching abilities are off. So let's go back into our short list here into 1902 and take a look, first of all, by batters. Who do I like here? I like Art Shires. Not really concerned about power. So Shires is the first choice there. And for pitchers, it looks like it's going to be. It's close. Bob Miller or Bob James, 18-year-old Bob James. Yeah, I think we're going to go with him. Hopefully, we'll get him next round. So we're going to go with the batter, Art Shires. Let's go back to the draft. Art, come on down. Welcome to Montreal. Okay, let's hope that pitcher is still there. Let's go back to our short list and see who is still available. All the batters are gone, I think. And Bob James is still there. So, Bob James, we are going to take you. Let's just take a look at the batters, make sure we're not missing anyone. Yeah, we got Art Shire. So it's not showing. Did I sim ahead here? Did I go to our next pick? Let's check this out. Draft pool. Okay, continue. Yeah, we did. So in the short list, it's not showing the team that drafted him like it did in the last episode. Okay, well, we do want to go with Bob James. He was the guy that stood out for us as a pitcher. Could be a really, really solid, I think, bullpen guy. And where has he gone? Where has Art Shires gone? He must have been drafted. Yeah, we missed out on him. So the draft, unfortunately, the short list is not shorting it enough. 1902. And is there a way we can see who they were drafted to? There's got to be a way. Got to be a way. Put on their team. There we go. That should help us. Yes. So now we can see which team they were drafted to, and we're going to save that. All right. So all of our pitchers are off the short list. Batters, we do have a couple. So let's go and take these ones off the short list. Remove. Be gone. So 21-year-old Akil and 23-year-old Dan Sullivan. A lot of speed. Well, I'm going to go with Akil. That is the player I was kind of looking at last round anyway. So let's take Akil. All right, simming ahead to our next draft round or next pick, round number 5. Okay, batter wise, Dan Sullivan is still there. He was on our short list. We're going to take him. Easy pick. Next up, take a look at the pitchers. Make sure we're not missing anyone in terms of control, stamina. All the starters are off the board right now. And we already have a ton of relievers, so we're going to ignore pitchers. We're going to go batter heavy for the last half of the draft. So we're basically down to 2 stars or lower, and there's only a couple 2 stars left. Age, again, I want to go with the young guys. We got a 31-year-old. We're not going to take him. Anthony Gose, I remember him as a player, I believe in Toronto. Yeah, Toronto and Detroit. Now, he could play better in this because the random talent generation is turned up a bit, so he might have a different career in our sim. A lot of speed. Who else do we got? Contact-wise, Ghost is still there. Gap-wise, 21-year-old Keith Lampard. Can't do much else, though. Power. Oh, we got, wow, for the memes. Yes, we are going to take Bo. We got to have Bo on the team, even though not many home runs are hit. Will he last to the next round? What is his ranking? 1.5. We'll take him now. Bo Jackson coming to Canada. All right, next up, Anthony Gose is still there. So that is going to be our pick in round 7. 3 more rounds to go. And we're down to almost 1-star players. 18-year-old. Well, we're going to take one of these. Ed Larkin, Wayne Anderson, and I don't want the 26-year-old. So let's go with Wayne Anderson. 2 more picks in round number 9. Let's just look at the names. Let's see if there's anyone here that I recognize from real life baseball that maybe we can, convert into a much better player than the ratings project. I'm not seeing many. Not really familiar with these names. So Dutch Rock. He can't do much, but he won't strike out. He will not strike out, that's for sure. What else do we got here? Yeah, it is. It's few and far between, so maybe we do have to take a look. And there's only 2 pitchers left. Let's take this guy with 75 movement. All right, Jim. One more pick. Who does our scout recommend? Walt Schaefer. This guy. Do we take him for the meme? Do we take him with that avoid K, or do we go with some sort of name? Here's all the remaining players left, all half-star players except for Dane. Let's look at the names. Come on, there's got to be a cool name. Jake Lawler, Terry Lyons, Dutch Rock. I'm leaning towards Dutch Rock, thinking that might be the guy we take. Just for the name. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Welcome to Montreal, Dutch Rock. Drafted. Continue the draft. Draft is done. Let's take a quick peek at the draft log. Here is your first round players. Brothers to the Senators. Chicago Cubs take Gonzalez. Tim Hudson to the Brooklyn Superbas. Montreal with Roy Halladay. Dixie Walker goes to the Browns. Gilkey to the Tigers. Rettenmund to New York. Boston takes Troy Tulo. Chicago White Sox, Will Clark. Don Little to the Athletics. Fred McGriff is going to play in St. Louis. Phillies, Corey Dickerson. Jim Gott to Cleveland. Joe Hornung to the Reds. The Giants will take Avina, and the Pirates end off round 1 with 27-year-old Jack Urban. Well, there you have it. We have finished the 1902 draft with a 38-102 record. things can only look up, right? They can only look up. We hope. So we're going to sim ahead to the preseason. Well, let's go ahead to the regular season simply because we don't have preseason turned off. It's not necessary. No injuries are on anyway. We're just going to get right into each season, episode after episode. And I thank you for tuning in to episode number 3. Hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, please leave a comment. It encourages me to keep up making videos like this about OOTP update. Next year might be our first Hall of Fame inductees because they have to be retired for 2 years. So we'll see if we get anyone in the Hall of Fame. Financial update is good. The preseason is complete. And there you have it. The Montreal Expos ready for season 3. Season through? Well, I kind of was hoping these seasons would be through till we get really good. Looking at our lineup quickly, what we're kind of hoping to do. Again, our recently drafted players, here they are: Roy Halladay, Bo Jackson. Bo, did you increase your ratings? Yeah, updated ratings. We might have got a steal with Bo Jackson, taking him round number 6. And he has jumped up to a 3.5 star rating. Number 69, Bo Jackson. Gotta love it. Halladay, Jackson, Delisandro, Shires, and Badeau have a strong chance of making the team next year. We'll see you next episode. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Take what you need, give what you can. It's a great day for baseball. We'll see you next episode.